Hey everybody, it's Brendon Burchard.
And Denise Burchard.
We're married.
We are.
And we run together HPX, which is the High Performance Experience. And welcome to episode number 4.
Productivity.
Of Transformation Week. How do you increase productivity? How do you get more done, feel more fulfilled, and crush it every single day? That's the topic Denise and I are taking on for you guys today.
It is.
I will share with you that Denise is the single most SWAT team productive, make things happen, which is her thing, make it happen. She's always saying, make it happen.
On occasion.
Yes. On occasion. She's always, make it happen, make it happen. She's just so good at this. So I hope you all will really tune in. I highly encourage you to make sure you have a journal for Transformation Week if you haven't already. If you're just joining us for the very first time here on Transformation Week, my friends, episode number 1, we talked about all transformation begins with getting clarity. Then episode 2, we said all transformation rests on you generating energy, mental, emotional, physical, spiritual energy to be able to serve your mission, make your difference, change your world. Number 3, we talked about the importance of raising necessity, making success necessary for you, making sure that you identify with that part of you, as Denise shared, to really have a sense of you that says, I want to be excellent at what I do.
Yeah, internalizing and making it your identity.
Yeah, and really taking it in, saying, listen, it is necessary. Like Les Brown always taught, you got to be hungry for success. It's necessary for you to succeed. That's how you're going to really transform your life. Today's episode is on productivity, which we are pumped to talk about because, so many of you know we have the High Performance Planner that we offer through hpxlife.com. Our High Performance Planner is just like the thing that literally hundreds of thousands of people use every single day now to stay on track, to get things done. But we always get more questions about how do you handle productivity? So Denise and I are going to talk about that today.
Yeah, and you use the planner every day, and it's how you get so much done yourself.
I'm a wreck if I don't use productivity tools. Some of you are just super naturally productive. You're amazing. You're incredible. I wish that was me. I need all the tools, all the help, all the strategies I can possibly get. So I'll start with it. If you haven't joined us in Transformation Week before, some simple things to know. Denise shares 3 things. And I share 3 things. These are our favorite strategies in each of these episodes. So if you missed episode 1, we talked about our 3 favorite strategies each about clarity. And then we talked about generating energy and then raising necessity. We'll do that here. So I'll start with my first one. I really believe that if you're going to change your life, transform your life, which is the theme of this week, Transformation Week, I believe it all begins with productivity, with you doing something very simple. You need to do a what matters inventory. And what that means is what I'd love for you to do is look back at your last week or your last months and really evaluate your days. Look at your calendar and look at all the things you did and ask, is what I am doing mattering? How much of my day did I focus on things that really matter, the things that move the needle forward? Mm-hmm. One of the things, if you all hopefully have read my book, High Performance Habits, if you haven't, shout out and a reminder that you guys can listen to the entire audiobook of High Performance Habits for free on the HPX podcast. But I really believe that it is necessary to remind you of something that we discovered in the book with the research. And that is high performers spend approximately 60% of their week focused on what they would identify as the needle moving activities, the big chunks, the big blocks of things that matter the most. And all that other detail, all those other little small things, it's not that they don't do them. It's that they have really moved their life and their calendar to focus on the things that matter most.
They've optimized their time using their time for things that are the most important.
Yes. I always tell people, listen, are you spending your week doing busy work or are you spending your week doing your life's work? And you need to know the balance. And you'll never do that until you do a mattering inventory, meaning go back through yesterday and be honest with yourself. How much of the day did you focus on the things that are actually moving your life, your business, your career forward versus how much of the stuff did you do that just you kind of run around chasing your tail? You answered a bunch of stupid emails that don't matter. You replied to a bunch of things that didn't matter. You went through social media that didn't matter. You did all these activities that didn't matter. And I remind you that, just 20 minutes of wasted time each day doesn't sound like a lot, but 20 minutes of wasted time each day, or even just lack of focus time, but 20 minutes lost each day adds up to 2 full weeks at the end of the year, meaning 24/7 for 14 plus days, you didn't do anything. You wasted those times. And I tell people all the time, like, what if you could get 2 extra weeks a year to just focus? And they're like, oh my gosh, I'd take it. I'm like, well, that's easy. Just don't keep losing 20 minutes. Or the average American, I always share, I was telling Denise this from every stage I've ever been on, the average American today spends about 4 hours in front of the television. And 4 hours in front of the television adds up to 13 years across the average adult lifespan. So think about that. 13 years, 24/7 in front of the TV. That's 13 years you could have spent with the kids. You could have built that empire. You could chase that other dream. People say, I don't have time to chase my dreams. It's like, no, you're just wasting so much other times that you're not allowing yourself that time. So do a matter inventory, meaning did you focus on what matters the most over the last couple days, last couple weeks, last couple months? It's worth literally spending just maybe 2 hours of your time today to just go back through and really evaluate how much of your time is focused on things that matter the most. That is my first thing. Do an inventory, get real, be honest with yourself to know how productive you've really been versus how much you think you've been.
I also think relationships are part of productivity too. So if you are blocking your time or taking inventory and you're looking at how you spent your time, relationships are part of that as well. They're not productive. It's not only work. It's spending time on building relationships and nurturing them into growing, healthy conversations. So
yeah, that's huge because I think it's so important. And I should qualify that because that study that we did where the world's highest performers spent about 60% on the major needle moving activities, that was in the context of the work week. Mm-hmm. So 60% of the work week was doing the big blocks of major efforts that move their life forward. 40% was on like smaller administrative things that didn't matter. But it didn't mean they also didn't go home and have amazing relationships with each other, because we want to remind you that high performance is defined as succeeding beyond standard norms while consistently maintaining positive well-being and relationships. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people think of productivity just like SWAT team, get stuff done, crush it. But if you lose your relationships in life because you're working so hard, or you lose your health, that's not high performance. And over the long term, you'll just be burned out or be lonely and unfulfilled. So beware, focus your time really productively, but don't think your health or your relationships have to come at that cost. That's what we found in the world's largest study of high performers, wrote about it, high performance habits. Denise, what is your first strategy?
My first strategy is breaking things down and blocking time for them appropriately. And why I say that is because I think a lot of people get overwhelmed and then they just don't move forward, or they get stuck and kind of circle around. But when you can break something down into smaller pieces and then schedule them, and I call it, like everything has its home in your planner about when you're going to do it. And here's the other thing that I have found to be a huge piece of productivity is if you know that one of those pieces that you are blocking into a compartment or a time slot, make sure it's an appropriate time slot. So if you know that something's going to take you 2 hours to do, put it in a slot that you have 2 hours, not for 30-minute chunks that get broken up, because then you're going to kind of lose some of that momentum and streamlining that would happen if you could do it all in one chunk. So break it down, schedule it so that every task has a home, and then you won't be so overwhelmed because suddenly you know when you're going to get it done, and almost just that sense of peace and ease with that just is like a sigh of relief, and then you can just check it off and do one step at a time. So I like doing this on Sundays for my entire week. I would encourage you, when you do maybe your review of the planner, that you plan out your week and put things in appropriate times.
Yeah, you're so good at that, because I think a lot of people really derail themselves because they thought, well, I only need 10 minutes for this. No, you should have scheduled an hour. Mm-hmm. And then they're trying
you have to start over.
You have to start over and you lose momentum.
Like 30 minutes of it. So
yeah, that's so good. That's so good. My second big idea is the 5 moves methodology. If you read High Performance Habits or you've been in my tribe for HPX for a long time, you know that I believe any major dream, any major goal you have can be broken down into 5 major moves. But we tend to overcomplicate things. So we think of all dreams as these overwhelming, scary things that will take, millions of actions. And so we don't start because we're overwhelmed. But if you could just break it down and kind of like chunk down your dream into like 5 things that you would have to do. So for example, for me, like writing a book, I'm like, okay, number 1, write proposal and outline. Like just kind of like think through the book. What's the book going to be about? What's the outline going to be? Number 2, write book. And that's just a big activity of it. Number 3, get major publisher or major agent, major publisher to represent the book, to publish the book. Number 4, promote that book, like launch that book. And number 5, get a community activated around that book. That's 5 things to become a best-selling author. Everything else happens drilling down from those major moves. So the major move is think like it's the project or the major activity that has to happen, and then you break that down into more steps or to more deadlines. It's just basic project planning, but it's so comforting when everyone says, "I got this big dream, Brendon, I don't know what to do." I'm like, there's only 5 things you have to do. Figure out what those 5 major earth-moving things you would have to do. Break it down, set the schedule from there, then it's not so overwhelming. Most people aren't more productive because they're overwhelmed before they start. Mm-hmm. They just think there must be a million random things they have to do. I'm like, nope, you can line it up, knock it down. And if you focus on figuring out your 5 moves, you can do that. If you need help, again, I know I'm pushing it really hard today, but please, this part of what we're doing here, you're in Transformation Week here for free. And so I'm going to tell you, go get my book, High Performance Habits. We'd love for you to buy it on Amazon, but also please know that you can listen to the entire audiobook as one of the seasons in our HPX podcast. The link to that podcast and that particular season is right here on the page where this video lives in Transformation Week. So we hope you'll check that out. That was my idea. Denise, what's your number 2?
I like that.
Yeah,
those 5 things. So once you've got your 5 things and you've scheduled your 5 things into block times, the next thing I think is following through.
Yes.
Follow through on your block times, because what happens is you create this positive confidence loop where when you are when you're achieving each one of those pieces that you've broken out, it gives you this loop of, okay, I did it, I can do it, it's not so overwhelming, it's not so intimidating, and you can build up momentum and confidence that you can get the things done. And when you see it happen over time, you're just kind of replaying that positive loop for yourself, which then allows you to take on bigger projects, bigger chunks with confidence and with ease, because you are building this muscle of productivity and just positive associations with it versus being overwhelmed and kind of stuck. So my challenge to you would be to follow through, and then also stop and acknowledge when you do follow through and internalize how that makes you feel. And I think it's so easy to kind of blow through everything that you're doing. But when you stop and think, wow, look at what I just accomplished, or look back and see how all those little steps added up into something. Or if you can look back and know, look, I used to be able to do this, but now I can take this, something bigger on, or a bigger project on. Making those little wins acknowledgeable factors leads up to huge, huge successes.
Yeah, I love that. We've become much better as a couple, like celebrating wins in little ways. So whether it's like we come home from a big trip or something happened, it's like, okay, let's go get a pina colada, or it's like, let's go celebrate it in this way or that way. And it does make a huge difference. And I think it's really important that we focus on that. Gosh, my last idea, y'all, team. You have to understand the power and the momentum that comes from a team. And so many people say, well, Brendon, I don't have a team. I don't have any supporters. I don't have anyone who understands me. No one's cheering me on. Well, first, your progress is not dictated upon people approving, understanding, or cheering you on. However, the faster progress you want in life, the more you realize you need to get a team, or that's you get your first assistant, or you get an intern, or you get somebody in your family or one of your friends to help you out. But it's about just having that camaraderie of people around you, whether you're paying them or they're just part of the mission, who really support you. Like we have a lot of team. We call you guys sometimes Team HPX. You'll see us use that hashtag a lot. Like when you guys do something amazing, like hashtag Team HPX, because it's like just sometimes a social community or people supporting you, like there can be a movement that begins. And when you have a movement at foot, then all of a sudden productivity happens more because you have more people fighting for it and striving for it. You have to realize if you have a big dream in your heart, then you must develop leadership skills as an art. It's really important. I meant to rhyme. Did you see that was rhyme?
I did.
If you got, a
So
big dream in your heart.
impressive.
Yeah. I think it's just important. Listen, too many of you, you're striving by yourself for way too long. Why? Well, I'm not a good leader. I'm not a good manager. Well, you weren't a good bike rider or shoe tire. You figured it out. You started, you tried it. I always tell people, no matter how small you start something that matters. And if you just start with one person, one team member, one employee, one independent contractor you source, trust me, once you get 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, it builds a momentum, and it's not that much harder to go in from 10 people to 20 people to 30 people. Denise had 30 employees. It's like, she didn't know how to do that. She wasn't an entrepreneur. She wasn't a big manager in her previous career. She just learned, she got in the fray and realized if she really wanted to be excellent with her customers and build a brand, she needed a team. And so I'm just encouraging. I didn't know that either. We have now, 4+ companies that we own or majorly invest in that have, crossed the 200 person employee number. I never imagined that would be part of our life. But while we're doing this, they're out there working in this world to spread the difference, to take the high performance experience to literally millions of people around the world. If we didn't have that team, we wouldn't probably even get to meet you or know you. And so I just want to let you know, building a team should be an absolute humongous priority for you if you have a big dream. That'll make you more productive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get 50 things more done. Everyone's like, how do you get so much done? I'm like, I don't do it all myself anymore. I did it all myself for 10 years, which was stupid. The biggest mistake I made in our career was I didn't get team earlier because I was able to do everything. Like today, I'll give you guys an example. Denise and I are filming this. We're here alone. We have 1, 2, 3 cameras going, 3 lights, 2 podcast mics going. We're doing this entirely by ourselves because I taught myself to use all these cameras and all this gear, because I was used to doing things by myself. But ultimately I had to realize, well, that's stupid, Now, when we can have team around, like we did this yesterday, we probably were 5 times more productive because people were doing that. We could do our art. And so I just really want to emphasize, have the team, build the team, scale the team, because that will make you infinitely more productive. Yeah.
My last thing is being thoughtful about your transitions between one thing to the next. So if that means, you're transitioning from work to home and like you like to say, take 2 beats, and maybe you stop in the car and you think about who you want to be and you transition into your home and your spouse and your family, perhaps. That's one type of transition. The other type of transition is transitioning from one project to the next, or I call them, different hats or different roles. And if you're an entrepreneur or you're looking to build something, you have a lot of different hats that you have to wear all the time. And sometimes those hat transitions have to happen pretty quickly, just depending on what it is. I know for my exercise studio, it would be teaching class for 1 hour and working with clients the next, and then training teachers, and then doing marketing, and then managing the accounting and the finances. I mean, these would all happen in half a day's time, or whatever an entrepreneur's half a day time is. So you have to be able to manage those transitions pretty quickly so that you're not losing focus and you're also not losing productivity between them. And I think one thing that helps is block time, because it won't all stay in your head. Like, you need a little bit of plan or guidance. So if going back to block time, if you know what your next thing is, then you can quickly go to it and you almost can anticipate it. Okay, I need to switch my mindset to this. And I don't know how many times I've walked around if I didn't have a plan, and you're like, what am I supposed to do next? But if you have it written down and you go back to it, you're going to minimize the lost time and focus that you might have in transitions, wondering, what am I supposed to do next?
Yes.
So I think that is a huge, huge one. And so I would challenge you, for every day in the next week, take a moment, at least once a day. If you can do it more, great. But take a moment to notice your transitions and to apply somewhere that you have a challenging time keeping your momentum or keeping your focus or your productivity. Implement that for 7 days straight, and see how that transition time helps you become more productive.
I love that. I was also say to everybody, be patient on yourself.
Yeah.
I think
notice what works.
Yeah, I just feel like this is an area, honey, that people are so hard on themselves. Mm-hmm. They know they can achieve more, but they're not, and they hate themselves or they guilt themselves, and then they get down on themselves, and that
That's
emotional.
why you gotta celebrate the wins.
Yeah, but a lot of people go, well, honey, they say I haven't had any wins, and so what I think my message is that like just go easy on yourselves, because if you're always hating yourself for not getting progress in your life, that emotion carries over onto the next Monday.
Yeah.
Like if you always feel down on yourself, that's something to explore, because feeling down on yourself is hurting your productivity and your ability to make your difference in the world. So take your psychology seriously. Many of you all know we do HPX coaching. So every single month I go live, I teach high performance principles from psychology to physiology to persuasion to productivity, like for 2 hours every single month. And it's like my best stuff, right? And so you can join that. You can see on this page, we have an offer for you guys to join that. But I share that because in our coaching community, we have so many people who are so hard on themselves and have to spend a lot of time. Listen, you're stronger than you think. Please give yourself some credit. Please enter each day confident. And remember, confident isn't like, I'm so perfect. Mm-hmm. Confident is, yes, I believe in my ability to figure things out. Wander into each day with an open, positive mindset that you are going to do the things that matter, that you're going to, do the things that matter the most, push away the things that don't, really reclaim your life's agenda.
Yeah.
Because listen, if you're ever going to get productive for you and your family, decide to do that now. No more excuses, no more being hard on yourself, no more waiting and wondering when it's all gonna happen. Like, get at it. Follow some of these principles. Listen or read to High Performance Habits. Buy our planner. You guys get a discount on that too. As you see, everything we're doing in Transformation Week gives you guys some kind of discount to all the things we offer in HPX.
I think it's also important to kind of internalize. I think mindset is a huge component to feeling productive or feeling like you have progress. And if you're trying something new, you are making progress because you're seeing if it works or if it doesn't work for you. So
learning is progress.
Yeah, and it's evolution. And you can't evolve or make progress without maybe having some stumblings. And if you figure out what doesn't work for you, that's progress too. So I think it's how you define it.
Yeah, I think it's so important. Well, we hope you enjoyed this episode of HPX Transformation Week. We always get asked, what's HPX? HPX stands for the High Performance Experience. Denise and I's mission is we're trying to change people's lives. And to do that, we just want to tell you that there's this other experience of life where you are more focused, more organized, but also more fulfilled and energized moving throughout your day. Our values are about helping you become more vibrant, more connected, more excellence-driven. And we've got all these tools. We've been talking a lot about them throughout this series. We've got the book, and you can listen to it free on the HPX podcast. You got our High Performance Planner you can get. We've got our HPX Optimized, which is our brain health supplement that gives you a little bit more mental energy and focus throughout the day. Because sometimes, as I shared in our last episode, you have to supplement. You have to, see your doctor, see your nutritionist, find out where your energy is and why it's where it is. Like I learned, I needed a supplement to help me focus more throughout the day, to make me more sharp mentally so I can concentrate better and just be on my A game more. We have that tool available for you on this page. I just hope you all see we're doing this series for free for everybody, because we're just trying to live our mission. But as we've learned to do this over the years, I've been doing this for 15 years, I have learned if I do something free, give them tools, give them tools, give them tools. All these things we're referencing, we don't need to, if we want to launch them and put them out there on a big internet, we can do a huge launch, no problem. But we're trying to give you guys these tools and discounts to all these tools, because we just feel like if you raised your hand and said, listen, I want to join Transformation Week, you are in that moment of transition in your life where it's time to change. And if it's time to change, honor that feeling in your body, get the education, get the tools, get the support that we're offering, or from somebody else. But just make sure you're staying committed to what you're doing. And especially this time in Transformation Week, we want to reference and share with you, it's time to sign up for HPX coaching if you have not already done that. Because if you like these conversations that Denise and I have, there's a difference between a conversation and curriculum and coaching. And that's what we do every single month. I go live. I teach high performance principles and psychology and productivity tips at a really advanced level, but you can do it. And we do it with our high performance coaching community. So that coaching program, it not only do you get to spend time with, me every month, live for 2 hours. You get access to the replays. We also hook you up with a free group coaching session with the certified high performance coach, somebody who I've certified, because obviously I can't do it for all of our celebrity friends and all of our clients and all the millions of people around the world.
That's your team.
That's my team. That's our certified high performance coaches who you get on a group call, and there be like 4 or 5 of you on the call to talk through what you're doing, and they'll identify where you should focus and what you should do. Also, when you sign up for HPX coaching, you get to come to one of our high performance events. So if you're like a seminar person or a workshop person or a meetup type person, you just want to go to a live environment and meet high performers and meet strivers and achievers.
Talk about generate energy. Those events are high energy, super fun. And I think, there's something different about and palpable when you say you can feel the energy in the room. It's really true. Yeah,
and these are events you get tickets to that are like hundreds or thousands of dollars. And just to give context for the who's, like if you don't know what we do, like my events like High Performance Academy, that's like 2,000 people a couple times a year. And it's the best personal and professional development seminar that has ever been measured for real high performance research. Like we measured what happens for people after they leave there, and they start scoring higher on their high performance habits across a range of scores. It's really an incredible event, and you guys get free tickets if you're in our coaching community. So click down below. You'll see that there's a little box down there you can see to sign up for coaching right now, because I'm about to go live again, and we'd love for you to be on the next one. When you sign up, you also get the last 3 months of high performance coaching, which is like basically 6 hours of training right now. You could jump into anytime between now and forever. You get access. So make sure you check that out. It's something that we really, really feel is important. You want to tell them about social media hashtags?
Use hashtag HPXLife.
And hashtag Transformation Week. So, comment, tell us, take a screenshot, share it out in the world. Tell people you're part of Transformation Week. We'd love to hear what you're learning and what questions you have, so that we can always make these even better and better and better. So please use hashtag HPXLife for those who want to be part of that high performance experience in life, HPXLife, and then Transformation Week. We really appreciate you all being part of this one. Our next episode, we're taking on how do you develop more influence? So tune in for that one. Until then, Denise has this thing she likes to say.
Remember, you always have a choice. You can choose to be average, or you can choose to become extraordinary.
So my friends, go be extraordinary today. We'll see you soon.